So we continue with modeling our texture. One very important part which is missing here right now is of course the label of our spaceship. For that we need a name for the spaceship. So let's first add a text. This we just do by saying add text, and we have a text here. We can move it exactly the same way like we moved everything before. Something is going on with my performance here. Let's look, well, who cares, we will be able to model it anyway. By pressing the tab key you enter the edit mode here too, but the edit mode here is of course just by pressing, just by typing what you want. Oops. The name to be USS, well, it's a tutorial, so let's call it tut, and it's a blender tutorial, so let's call it tut blender tuto blend, and it has something to do with StarText, so let's say tuto blend. Let's Blenterprise. Okay, maybe it's a stupid name, but I think it fits perfectly. Tuto Blenterprise. Just choose your own name if you don't like it. So now let's give let's add a depth to this text by just going to the text mode and enter 0.1 in this field here which says extrude. Then we have that. We can adjust the material like for everything else. Let's call it black and make it black. Oops. Sorry. So, black. Let's go here again. Adjust the size like that. It should fit in this area here. Oops. Okay, that's enough. And what we now need to do is press the Alt key and the C key at once and transform that to a mesh so that we are more flexible. Then let's put our 3D cursor here and make sure that the height is okay. It is okay. And then we go to edit mode and select each vertex. Since this is a mesh now, we cannot just type any text or edit the text anymore. Instead we have vertices which we can move. Don't worry, we don't want to move the vertex. What we want to do is to wrap that text in a way that it has the same curve like the ship. Here is the center of this wrapping point. So in our 3D cursor, if we now press Shift W, we start wrapping the text. And what we also can see is that doing this, it is mirrored for some reason. I don't know the reason, but of course if we just mirror it before we do that, it's normal again. But another problem here right now is that the text points to the wrong direction. You know, if we look for that, for example, to this file here, we see that the label is directed to the other direction. So oops, still not correct here. So let's mirror it. Oops, sorry. Mirror it according the y-axis. So let's scale it by the y-axis with the value -1. So we mirrored it actually. And if we then press Shift W and adjust the size, it should look already correct. Okay. Adjust the positioning a little bit. Let's see where the text is. It is in the air, so just increase the height. Height. And then let's take a look here. Yeah, it's okay. It's perfect. So, but a little bit more. Down, a little bit more. Oops. So it's perfectly visible. Well, let's save the file and Of course we could continue by doing a lot of stuff here, but I think it's for the first step it's enough. What we need to do, of course, is adding the windows, but this will be another layer, and let's see the result right now. We'll save it. So let's take our cam and let's have this view and this view, and there's our cam. So our cam needs to look on our actually let's that be the camera view, so we can see a lot of more here, and then we can shift move the camera in a way. You see, if it is directly above the mesh, it already starts turning its size and its rotation, like this one. Oops, it was all perfect. It was perfect. So like exactly this one is shifted. So and then let's adjust this value to not too much, not too much. It should be like that. Actually, we could do it again here easier by switching to orthographic rendering mode. That would be very wise actually, but I don't want to introduce too much tools here, so I will just do it manually with the tools I already showed to you. So let's move the okay, that's of course a little bit stupid, right? No, actually don't need to do it, we have it here already. We just need to increase the height a little bit more so that the ship is completely inside the camera view, so like that. And let's go to rendering mode. We still have this presetting here that we have a high resolution, but we are just rendering the half of it, so we want the our texture file in a high resolution, so let's render it completely and do full sample here in anti-aliasing, so that it really should look good. Now we have to remove this lamp and add a lamp which has lower influence on all of that. Let's add it here. Now let's add a lamp. Let's add a spotlight actually, and go to lamp edit mode and increase that distance to 300. And it is still clipped here, so it will not reach it. So let's set this clip and parameter of the lamp to 300 too. And the energy has to be much higher, let's say 100, so in a way that it really reaches. 100 was maybe still too much. Okay, say 50. Yeah. Let's see the complete result. So don't worry, these black points here will disappear, and this will look good too in the final result. So it is still not completely ready. Oh yes. Another point of Blender which I should tell you is cancelling this. Is if you press the F12 key, you will get a rendering here, full rendering, but the file will not be saved. So just press animation, then the file will be saved in the location which is given here, or which is given here. So let's wait again until it's ready. Yeah, go. You will be able to do that. Should I go? Okay, now it's fast enough, so I don't need to pause that. But it's still not completely ready. It's then ready when this actually begins from the beginning, or starts from the beginning again, and when he starts to render the second frame. So let's wait a little bit. So now he's finished. So let's escape the second frame, the rendering of the second frame. Ask. So and now let's go here. These are the videos. Let's actually I can do it here. Go to temp. Whoa. 001 was 001. Strange for 001. Temp. Okay. I don't know what's happening right now. I have some performance issues, it looks like. Here it is, okay. Don't know why. No, it shows it here too. Okay. Spaceship tutorial, textures. There are no textures yet, so let's put it there. And call it main hull saucer hulls. English hull saucer section. Maybe upper saucer section. So, and then we can open it with, for example, GIMP. GIMP is available for free. Actually, we don't want to do a lot of stuff here. We just want to crop the file with the auto crop feature. With the auto crop feature of Blender of GIMP, I wanted to say, but for some reason it doesn't do anything. Obviously, you don't understand that this object is the one which we need, but we could have avoided this actually by rendering the background transparent, but of course we can do it like that too, and just say crop to selection. But I saw another problem here. For some reason our text is not black, so it will not be very visible in our texture, so we can just close that again. Don't save, close, and go to Blender again and take a look on our file here. It is black. So let's reduce the specular value of that, so that it will not be so white anymore. So let's render it again, and it should be black. Yeah, it is. And hopefully, yes, okay, it's completely rendered. So, oh, it's already finished. Cool. That was quite fast. No, it's not completely finished. Let's wait. Okay, I will press the pause button. No, I will not press the pause button. You should see everything. Go, Blender, go. Okay, that's it. Away with that, and let's go back to our files here. Now this is new. Let's copy it to here and copy the text. Remove this. That's the text here. So that's it. And now that was stupid. I could have switched to transparent background in Blender, but unfortunately I forgot it. So I will use this one. Oh, perfect. Like this. Image, crop to selection, and here's still too much. Let's make it perfect. That's not perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. So, image, crop to selection again, and save it. Okay. He already saved it, he just didn't know. So now we have that in texture file. Let's go back here and save that texture file, and finally go back to our version 1c2 texture, 1c2, yeah, you know, this, and to the one without the texture. Okay. Now here we still have two materials for this and this. Let's change that. By selecting this second material, select all these materials and select the other material and say assign, and tada, we have now one material and the white materials, of course. This one we can use for something else. It's not here right now. Texture, yeah. So let's add a texture. So see that's the material slot and that's the texture slot. We don't have any texture right now, so let's add a texture. By default it's the cloud texture, which is a generated texture, is used, but we want to use an image, so we switch to image and go to here and say open it from file. We are already in the directory where the Blender file is, so we just need to go to textures and then to this image which we created right now and choose it. So now let's switch to UV image editor so that we are here. So this is just an image editor and it's showing the last render result. So let's switch to the texture which we added right now. It should appear here, so it's here right now. Then I saw yeah, no, it's okay, that's okay. So now let's go to upper view here so that we have it like that. Let's go to edit mode, select all of our vertices and just say U, the key U on the keyboard. That's for unwrapping the vertices here to the UV mapping view. There are several ways of unwrapping that. Some, for example, which using smart algorithms, or just a simple unwrapping algorithm, or sphere projection, or whatever. For me, compared to my experience, or considering to my experience, it's the most easy way of doing textures is just to divide your mesh to different files which can be seen from one view like this. This is quite flat, this view from above, so we can just go to this view, from this upper view, and say project from view. So we will have exactly the same shape here, but since the image is rotated and Blender does not know that, of course, that this image is rotated, we either have to rotate this one too, which can be done exactly like we did all the time, and then we can scale it according to the y-axis exactly since we did all the time, and it's the wrong direction I see, so I will rotate it by 180 degrees and put it there and so on. But I think it's all of that makes much more sense if we just rotate the image first instead of rotating the UV coordinates. So let's rotate the image, transform, rotate 90 degrees, and let's save it again. And close GIMP again. Thank you, GIMP. So let's unwrap them again. Oh, of course, Blender does not know that the image is new right now, so let's press this button here and say project from view again, and that's it. So now I want to, that's because of the mirroring. Without the mirroring, this file, the UV mapping would be already almost perfect, but I don't want to apply the mirroring right now, so I will just correct it manually. Let's set our 3D cursor to this position here, exactly like we did in the 3D view, by pressing Shift S and say cursor to selected. And now here we have something similar, just select the 2D cursor as our pivot point, select all vertices and scale it down, but just via the x-axis. Like that, like that, like that. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I did a mistake by doing the model right. I realize right now, and that's it. That oh, by the way, it doesn't need to be an error. I'm just worried right now that Blender will mirror this part, and that it will not take this one. Let's see what happens if we actually we can just see it immediately by switching this view to textured. Then we will see it, and yeah, it is exactly like I was worried. Let's see the rendered result. First of all, we have to go to the texture mode while this is selected, and switch from generated to UV coordinates to have really this UV coordinates, and then if we render it, should look like that. And of course we don't see this problem here. Let's put the lamp there. Yeah, it is exactly like we see it in the view. That's bad. I will think about this problem right now. Okay, I thought about this problem, and actually there would be several ways to avoid that. For example, we could just model this and set this label here instead of using it as a texture. But I think the most correct way or the most easy way is just to apply the mirroring. And since we will do that at the end anyway, we can actually just ignore this problem, but to show you that this problem will disappear if we apply the modifier, I will just demonstrate that by saving that first, apply the mirroring, and you can apply that too. Then you will see additionally that everything will be much more, will have much more vertices. So we will just select everything, or let's just select everything which consists of this material, which is not completely everything. So and say W project from view, ta-da, and it's almost perfect rendered. And you see now it's correct, but it still has no surface right now. Let me first of all, since we are not finished with modeling, undo these parts, so you know that that will flip automatically at the end. But for now we will just keep it like that and add the bump mapping, which we wanted to do all the time. The bump mapping is here. Just go to the texture which you want to be bump mapped, and go to geometry and say and activate this normal mapping. My experience, -4 was always a very cool value. Let's see what we should see now, and you don't need to do this just to have a better perspective in this one rendering. I will do it like that, and that actually let's just position the stupid lamp in a better way. So let's make a rendering and see what happens. Well, like you see, now our ship has a real depth. We should improve this part here in our texture file. Even that looks good. This is the window which we can't see right now because of the perspective we use, and this is the error derived from the mirroring and the subsurface. This is a mirroring error too, which we will delete afterwards, but the rest looks really cool. Here, for example, the circles which we added, which now looks really three-dimensional. Here is not enough like to see that right now, but we see that this has a big impact on the quality of our file, of our model. So let's just undo the rotation and continue with our modeling part. Just align that again, and that's it. Actually, we have done everything which we wanted to do right now. The only thing which is missing for this upper part right now is of course the bridge, which is still missing right now, but I meant considering the texture is that we have to add some windows. Let's do that immediately. So by saving this file and return to our tutorial 1c2 texture file. So that's it. Genau. So let's take a look from above. Here the lamp is a little bit disturbing, so we will just move it to layer 3, and when we render it we have to include layer 3, otherwise we will not have the slide here anymore, and the rendering will look like that, just black. Back. Okay. We should reset the position of those escape ports we saw. So let's select all of them and move it a little bit more to here. And now let's do our windows. we can actually exclude layer 2. This is the grid. Since the grid is exactly on the wireframe of the real model, we know that we shouldn't add windows in this area, just in this empty face areas. Let's say it this way. So let's copy this first, like we said in our plan here. Add a new layer on our texture blender file. That's our tutorial 1D. If I blend it this way, I should save it as tutorial 1D. No, and the 1D texture, that's right, save blender file. I will copy this mesh completely and move it to layer 0, sorry. This is just to have a backup of this model here in layer 0. I'm doing that since I want to apply now my modifiers carefully. You know, this is the resolution which our model resolution right now. If we apply it, if we apply our subsurface, modifiers cannot be applied in edit mode. So let's go to object mode and say apply, and go to edit mode again. And now we see that we have a lot of small faces here. We can use these small faces actually perfectly to make windows out of it. So let's select face selection. But now we lost, of course, the grid, so we don't know anymore exactly where our grid is. So let's go back to object mode and activate our grid, and then go back to edit mode. And now, since everything is so tiny, let's switch to window light, and we should use the control and arrow up to maximize this view. And now something where a lot of patience is needed starts again. So let's just select the faces which are already there. We're selecting them like this. Okay, here are our rings. Here actually we can use the wireframe of this high resolution mesh now to adjust our rings perfectly and to adjust our escape pods perfectly with the lines we saw on the bottom. Now let's select this, not this. Okay, here we can't, since we added this big window. That just makes sense. Select this, and additionally this. If you want to have smaller windows, you can just increase your subdivision size or subdivide this here manually or whatever, but I don't want to have too much windows, since this makes a lot of work here right now, and again, this is a tutorial. So look, select a few of these windows. No, not that, but that is good, that is good, that is good. No, let's make it like that. Whoa, that will be funny. No, let's don't do it like that. Oops. Let's do it symmetrical, structured. So okay. And here I think we want to have some windows too, like on the same line. So now, since we added our subsurface, we can actually separate these instead of copying them. So let's press the P key and say selection. What we now did is that these faces which we selected are not part of our mesh anymore. If I move them or move the object, we see that we have holes in our mesh. But actually I want to have the windows, so now I have all these windows which are just gray. So let's go back to the normal view by pressing Ctrl up and the up arrow, and let's assign the window light material to them. For that we have to go in edit mode and say assign. So now we have windows. But not all of them should be on. So let's select a few of them. Maybe that one, and let's assign the black material here. No, that's not a good one. So let's make our own material again and say black windows or off window, so whatever. So diffuse, black, no specular or less specular, and additionally it should not be white. Let's make it like that. So okay, and assign. Now we have black windows too. Another thing here, considering just the windows, is that of course it should not be symmetrically on or off. So let's undo that actually and go to this modifier part, and since this is now another object, we can just apply the modifier and we will still have the modifier in our other two meshes. So the mirror modifier is just applied now to the windows. Now we have control, single control of each of them. Let's select randomly a few of them. This, maybe this one, and let's say okay, the material I added of course disappeared by undoing my changes. That's black window I said, but actually if I call that window light, I should call this window black to be systematic, you know. And then assign. Oh, that it's not black, so let's make it black. Let's make it less specular, but not so. There's a little bit shiny. It could be, but not. But actually not white. Let's make it again a little bit gray. So, whoops, that was the wrong one. Like that. Okay. So I really look forward to see the final result. Let's save. No. Now another important thing to know is that we actually want to separate the windows from the other meshes. The windows should not be bump mapped, for example, and the windows should be emitting. And to be able to separate those settings, we will separate those textures too. So let's remove the hull part of our texture by going just to the windows. Where are the windows? Okay, the windows are not on a different layer right now, so let's select the windows and press the M key for moving them and put them to layer 4, where nothing else is right now. Here now we have this mirror problem again, like we had all the time. Now it's a little bit more different since we have difficult. Since we have so many vertices here, so be careful by box selecting them. Okay, let's go to this view and box select them. You see, yeah, but this one should actually move there, so we selected that, okay. And here too, that's exactly the vertex which is the problem actually. So size x0, oops, size x0, and it's rounded again. Now another important stuff is that I want to have these holes black, and since there are holes right now, we have different possibilities. Either we could, for example, close these faces, or we could add a black plane in the background, or we could just make the whole background black to make them black. That we can do by pressing this volt setting system icon and then making the horizon color black, and that's it actually. So let's render this file again, animation. So I am pressing the pause button here and will be right back when that's finished. So the final result should look like that. I forgot by the way to add the layer with the light wall, so the first image which I rendered was black. Maybe you experienced something similar. So now it's finished. So just add the layer with the lamp. So we have this texture again. Let's move it to here. First of all I have to delete that one. So we have every window here is black. What else did we did? We took it, we skimp. Let's see if auto crop will work now with the black. Yeah, with the black one it works. that one, but also we have to rotate it 90 degrees and save it, close it, close it, close it, and go back to Blender. And now we will turn off layer 1 and instead turn on layer 4, where just the windows are. I'm just realizing a problem. If we do that, the cropping of the image will be very difficult if we do that, since there's nothing anymore seen of the old image. So let's go to this view, go to edit mode, and let's try to select the outer ring. That's possible, perfectly possible. Here we should have aligned that to here too, but for this purpose it's not important. Let's copy this one. So I have copied this and I press the escape key so that they will be there where they were before I moved them, and separate them by pressing P again and then the selection key. Now go back to object mode and try to select just this line here. Genau. And I was able to do so. Why I am doing that? I am doing that to be able to move that to layer 4 now, where our windows are, and now I go to layer 4 and I see the outline of my ship again. And to make that visible in sorry, in our texture 2, I will extrude it a little bit, like that, just a little bit. Afterwards we have to delete it in the texture file again. Our lamp is in layer 3, so we need that. Oh, actually no, we don't need that in this purpose, since I forgot what I wanted to say. Well, I completely forgot what I wanted to say. No, we don't need the lamp, since the window light has an emitting value and we will see that all the time, even if no lamp is there. And the black parts will be black if no light is coming on it too, so it's okay. But of course the background shouldn't be black now. So let's go to the rendering part and say we want not a RGB PNG but an RGBA PNG. So only the stuffs which are really black are black now, and all of the background will be transparent. So that's actually all. Let's animate that. By the way, in the view, in the render, in the Blender rendering view, you are not able to see any transparencies. That's why everything is black. But in the file which is saved, you will see it. Let's cancel that. Go back to our temp file and see. This is the file with our windows and with transparency in the background, and this is the outline which we just added to be able to crop the image correctly. So let it auto crop again, and then actually we can let the black stuff here if we want to have it as a design property in our model, but since I didn't plan that to be there, I will just choose this how is this called, eraser tool, and erase it. Or isn't there a bigger eraser tool available? Doch, scale, ja, sehr gut. Cool. So, okay, that's it. Then we can save it, and actually we rotated it before, so the other one, so we have to rotate that too, 90 degrees, and that's it. So X, close it, go back to Blender, save that file, and go back to our modeling part, which we called 1D texture. No, this one is 1D texture. We don't have a file for this one right now, so let's go to this one. Oh, I saved it in this file. That's of course not so good, but that's okay. It's not so bad. So let's save that file. the windows are missing, the windows are missing. These windows are still black, and now we will add while this hull upper saucer one is selected, I should really delete that one since we don't use it right now, and we should actually change that one too a little bit, make it blue. Sorry that I'm switching the topic a little bit right now, but I don't want that to be the same color like the windows anymore. So we have this now, and we go to the texture mode, and we already saw here that here are multiple slots for textures. This is a bad name. Let's call it hull texture, hull's upper saucer section texture. Okay. Reached the limit. Now let's call it text. Hull upper saucer text. We want another one now. This will be again an image one, but this time it should be the I of course should name, give it a good name. Window no main upper main window upper saucer section. Back to Blender, open textures, saucer section. Yes, that's it. So, tuck. Let's select that here too. Main window. And since we already defined the UV coordinates for that, it should be already perfect. So, the only thing we need to do is to say that this time not the normals should be activated, but this time the emit value should be activated with the value 1. Let's say 2. No, 1, not 2. Let's say 2. Mix. It should be added actually to the layer which is below that one. This one was so stupid to switch automatically again. So we don't see this result here for some reason, but in the rendered version it should be there. Yeah, it is, but it is wrong. The reason for that is that we forgot to set the coordinates from generated to UV. So if we render it now, it should be perfect, and the black windows should be still black. Yeah, that's it. Not so bad, isn't it? The grid is missing. The grid is definitely missing. Okay. Of course, the grid is not here. The grid is not here too, of course. So let's save that again and go back to 1D texture and go back to layer 3 with the lamp and layer 1 with our file, and let's additionally activate layer 2 with the grid and reanimate it. So previously I just forgot to add the grid. I will pause this until this is finished. Okay, almost done. It was just something like 10 seconds, so it's okay. Frame 1 and the second one is starting. We can cancel that. Go back to here, move that to here. Copy the name of that and delete the old file. Copy the name here. Open it in GIMP. Yes, I am a little bit bored now, but it's always the same. So auto crop image, it works. Oh, we have an error here by that. That's a grid which is occluding the part, so we can immediately go back to Blender, change that, and let's see what happens if we remove the grid. Whoops. Okay, so we have to see what is the part which is occluding our text. Obviously it was done by applying the subsurface, so let's just take this text and move it a little bit up like that, and that's actually the advantage of using it like that. It don't need to be perfectly aligned. Again, in our upper view you will not even see that there's a hole in between this text and the surface. By the way, another advantage of using all of that as a texture instead of just using it as a model like we modeled it is not only that it is much more difficult to model it so perfect that it is a model. Another reason is that the performance of rendering everything, which would increase a lot, and not the performance would actually decrease a lot. It would take a lot of more time to render your scene if you sorry add this amount of vertices into your real scene and render it, especially in an animation. So let's save that again and go back here again and copy it again. So copy this one, delete the old one, delete it, and open it to GIMP. Close the old file, don't save it. Auto crop, rotate. So okay, now it looks good. Close that. Okay, perfect. And go to this one. No. Select our ship again and delete that again here. We don't need it. Sorry, and we did that blue, and we can do that again. A little bit blue. So genau. Yes, accidentally I moved that to the bottom. Let's flip it back to the top. Go to texture. Why this don't have a texture right now? That's actually not possible. Let's render it. Let's see. Oh yeah, the texture is there. Okay. We already rendered the texture, so I have to switch now to tutorial 1D again, and now that should be all. We just need to reload our file. Whoop. Okay. And this should be the windows. We didn't change anything. Oh no. Okay. This is really stupid that something like that happens in the tutorial. I just overwrote my my window file, and both of the files look like that right now. So actually the main hull upper source section should look like that. This is the grid. So we copy that. First we have to delete that. So since you already saw how to create the image, I will just pause this tutorial and recreate the window image. See you soon. So I just recreated this image, rendered it in Blender. Now we have our window and hull image again. I save the file and go back to our model file, and now it should be correct by going to window. Okay, I changed the name of the file a little bit by accident, so let's reload the texture, main window upper source section accept. Now we have it, and this should find it too. Genau. And it's okay. Yeah, that's it. Save it, animate it. Yeah, now it looks perfect again. We need more lights here and that looks funny because of the mirroring. Let's add another lamp that we can see more. So yeah, this one just here and this one here. Let's see from above. Yeah, exactly. Animation. Okay, I see we have some problems here too. Before I end this tutorial, I will correct that. I think this has something to do with the UV mapping. Let's see. Yes, that's it. As you see, the edge here, this outer line edge here, is going exactly above our escape ports. We can't improve it right now without applying the subsurface, so that we have more power here, to more flexibility to adjust this size. So I will just increase the height of this a little bit, which is the most simple way. So let's go back to our texture file. Let's activate this, and this, and go back to upper view. I think, yeah, okay. This one was okay now. So let's select this, and increase its height a little bit. Oh, okay. Now it disappeared. The half of it disappeared under the surface, so we have to move it a little bit upwards. So like a minute, so in a way that it appears again. And this, the same, and the height also a little bit, and again here. Select, and move it. So, and again a little bit the height. Okay, then animate that again. I pause it again until I've replaced the file. So I now replaced the file, and I'm back. No, I'm not back in the texture file, in the not texture file. So now I am back. And now this should, okay. Yeah, I still have an hour. I'll see you in a minute. So now I did it, and I'm switching back to tutorial 1D, and then hopefully it looks good. Okay. Yeah, that's all. Let's animate it. And you see that the rendering of this is much faster than the rendering of our texture model. And that's actually a very big advantage of using textures instead of other stuff. Here we could improve a lot, of course, but right now I think for this tutorial it's enough. So thank you for your attention.